All right. Well, thanks, folks, for joining us for the RecPoker Unshuffled Mixed Game Demo. We do this once a month. John Somsky runs a different mixed game at RecPoker every single month. And I'm so pleased to be joined here by Jake Hirschfield from Unshuffled.io, who's our resident mixed game demo guy. And so every month we take a look at the upcoming mixed game for RecPoker, and we use Jake's amazing platform, Unshuffled, to demonstrate how you might play it in case this is your first time. So we are recording this in September, and we're getting ahead of October's mixed game. October's mixed game is 6+ Hold'em, which is also known as short deck. So all the same rules of Hold'em apply when it comes to hand ranking and the mechanics of the game. But a crucial difference is that all the cards 2 through 5 have been removed. So no 2s, no 3s, no 4s, no 5s. And there's a few things that kind of changes about the game. So Jake, we'll talk about that a little bit first, and then we'll do a demonstration of a hand using your amazing program on Unshuffled.io. But right off the bat, this just feels like when you eliminate all those low cards, that's got to change kind of what hands get made more often throughout the course of a full hand of poker. So one thing that stood out to me when I was just thinking about this would be that you're going to see more straights getting made because there's just fewer cards involved that don't help a straight in some way. Is that true? And what are some other kind of differences of this kind of game?
That's exactly right. It's a game where you might anticipate there being a little more action because you're playing with the top half of the deck.
Right.
But really there shouldn't be, because everyone is playing with the same deck. It's not like one player has an advantage over others, or I don't know, there's some weird wild card variations. Everyone has the same chances of making the same hands. So I think at really experienced tables, the action may seem actually relatively similar to a regular Texas Hold'em
at
table.
experienced tables. But I think if people are getting into it first, they're like, oh, well, they're not even thinking about all the bad hands that they can't even make anymore. So so it sounds like experienced players kind of know that they have to demote some of their hands' absolute value to like a lower relative value versus the field for this.
Yeah, I think the first few times I played, I fell into that trap, and you kind of forget that you're playing with a deck that has 36 cards in it.
Right.
So you're thinking, man, I'm getting all these great, pocket cards.
Right.
Tons of face cards, lots of pocket pairs, and then you keep losing. You're like, I'm having the worst luck today. But that's the thing, in this game, pocket pairs are generally like more common. Just pocket hands are stronger, obviously. Ace plays high and low.
Right.
Couple other sort of rules to this game. There are way more straights because mathematically it's actually easier to get a straight than even 3 of a kind. So 3 of a kind actually beats a straight in 6+ Hold'em.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's interesting.
And a flush also beats a full house.
Okay. So just because there's like a different number of cards available, it just means that you're more likely to hit things like did you say you're more likely to hit straights? So
3 of a kind.
So 3 of a kind becomes a more powerful card.
Flush than a full house.
Wow, that's really interesting.
You're more likely to hit a full house than a flush.
Right. So scratch what I said right off the bat. The hand rankings do change, and it's not just that some are more common than others, but it does actually change the ranking of the hands. So
they do.
That's going to make for some confusion when people get in there for the first time, I imagine.
It does, and it does sort of play into some strategy as well as you're playing the game. Flush draws, like as in regular Texas Hold'em, a flush draw is actually a pretty good place to be. You often will stay with especially if a flush draw on the flop, especially if you have 4 of the 5 cards needed. It's not very strong in short deck Hold'em because it's so hard to complete your flush. And in fact, people can kind of fall into that trap of thinking that they're going to be able to pull off their flush, whereas someone else has a straight draw, and it's very common to get straights in this game. It happens all the
Wow.
time. And then if Pete, for those of your audience or just in general who know the rule of 2 and 4 for outs,
Yes, yes.
you guys talk about that. That doesn't apply in short deck hold'em.
Right. And then let me just refresh our audience. So basically it has to do with if you're looking for if you're trying to an easy way to count your outs, the rule of 2 and 4 is just that if you're on the turn, you can multiply the number of outs by 2, and that's a rough sense of what your equity is in the hand. And if it's on the flop, then it's 4. But of course, when there's fewer cards in the deck, that will change the number of cards that are available to help out your hand. Did I get that right?
And I think it's a little more rough, but you can sort of apply the exact same rule, but with 3 and 6.
Okay. So you're when you're in a drawing spot, it's going to be an unfamiliar amount of equity. Like you're not drawing to the same number of out. Well, what am I trying to say here, Jake? Is there's fewer hearts in the deck if you're on a flush draw, so you're not going to get that a heart as often, even though there's also fewer other cards in the deck as well.
Correct. And that's why making flushes is so difficult. But with some of your other outs, like in straights, you might find that you're gonna have more opportunities because there's so many of the cards that you don't need taken out of the deck.
Right. Yeah. A lot of dead wood that's just not there anymore. So that's interesting. That's really interesting.
Exactly.
Okay.
Otherwise, though, the game is played exactly the same as Texas Hold'em as far as the mechanics, and I think it's really fun. It's often played as a like a turbo game.
Yep.
Just like a quick game because I don't know why actually, but I just whenever I play it, it's always played as a fast game. And it's a blast. Like I always have a really fun time playing because you get good cards all the time, which is really
right.
fun.
Yeah, that is fun.
Normal poker where you get bad cards, which feels like.
And when you say that the aces play high and low, that means that you could have a straight that was ace 6 7 8 9. So that would be the low straight. Okay, interesting.
Essentially, can play as a 5 or as a tie card.
Right. That's So that's also going to take some getting used to, I think. And let me see. So, and then you're saying that so we're getting better cards, but of course we're all still sort of just making strong hands at a similar rate, even though in some cases it's now 3 of a kind instead of a straight, or that's not that sort of thing. Do you find that is this typically played like a 6 max or an 8 max? Can you get a full ring in with only 36 playing cards?
Oh, that's a good question. I've only played 6 max.
That wouldn't surprise me because I guess it's going to be
9 2 is 18, and then 5. I think
you could. Yeah, I think you could. The future of poker is just moving towards 6 max anyway, though. It seems like so. And so I guess some inexperienced players are going to overvalue hands that they have just because there's like, look, I got all these cards higher than a 6. What could go wrong?
Right.
And
And on top of that, like a high pair on the flop is not that strong in short deck hold'em because there just are so few cards and there's so many drawing opportunities. And everyone has high cards. You might have if it's 7 queen ace or 7 king ace and you have the ace, well, it's not unlikely that someone made 2 pair.
Yep.
So you just have to be wary of those things and be cautious of good cards in your hand that actually aren't as valuable in a short deck game.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And I guess you're also likely to see more paired boards because there's just fewer other cards in the deck that can get put out on the board. So you're just more likely to see a repeated card on the board. So that I guess that means that you do end up with more full houses. And that also is going to counterfeit a lot of 2 pair hands. That's going to be a problem for people that come in with 2 low pair. If you're in there with like 6s and 8s, often 1 pair, that guy that's got the pair of aces, when the board pairs the 10 later, now they've got you beat with the bigger 2 pair. And And so you're saying that sort of like some of those single pair hands, they go down in value because they're not going to be good at showdown as often.
Yeah, if you get to the end of the, if you get to the showdown, like a pair is just not a hand that typically wins in short deck hold'em.
Right.
It's usually something. It's usually two pair or straight or three of a kind. Like that's typically what you'll see, or a full house even. I mean,
Right.
you'll see when we run a few hands, unless we get unlucky, which I'm sure we will. Um, there'll be a lot of sort of greater than pair hands that are made, even with two or three people.
All right, cool. Well, I think I've I've given up everything that I know about this game already. I love one of the things I love about these unshuffled mixed game demos that we do every month is that I really don't know much about mixed games at all. I'm a hold'em guy, so I get to come in here cold and just kind of soak it up. So I'm loving it. So yeah, Jake, why don't you take us in through unshuffled.io, and while you're getting that set up, I'll just tell our listeners. So this is Jake's program. It's fantastic. It's a great way to play poker with your friends, and it sort of simulates the experience of playing with your buddies in your basement. You get to control the action. You can teach Unshuffled how to play all sorts of different games, even kind of crazy made-up games that that you and your friends might have come up with on your own, with wild cards and weird numbers of cards and different betting order and that kind of thing. There is a lot of ways to have fun with it, and it's got a video and audio element as well, so that we can all kind of like hang out while we're playing, and check out each other and make fun of each other, and get some tells, maybe, you never know.
That's
And there's
right.
also and it's also got this great program. So we're right in the middle right now of the Unshuffled Cup, which is a series of tournaments where you can play, or not tournaments, but a series of hands, of poker hands, where you get to play against computers, basically simulating the exact same spot that other competitors are playing all around the world. These are free to play, but there's some pretty serious cash prizes as well. And there's one of these, there's a new competition at least one a week, if not more than that. Is that right, Jake?
We do right now. We're doing one once a week, and we have a maximum of 250 people can play each week, and we're giving away prizes to the top 10 players. So you really have a good chance of winning, especially because a lot of players end up getting busted early on. And if you play in multiple events, you are likely going to qualify for the championship event, which is even bigger prizes. So
Nice.
it's a lot of fun. It's a cool way to sort of see how you stack up against other people. By the way, I turned my video off so that way the bandwidth issues wouldn't be a problem. I don't
Perfect.
think
Well,
it's
yeah.
gonna be a problem, but we'll see.
Hey, better safe than sorry. Yeah. So
Right.
feel free to just share your screen, and you can pull up that unshuffled IO page, and we can take it from there. You know me, all us rec poker folks, we love the idea of playing something for free and getting some real cash prizes. So that's
That's right.
something that we're very into that. We're very into that. So
Cool.
so yeah, so walk us through, my man. So you get to unshuffled.io. It's that simple.
So we're on
And
Untitled.io. I've actually gone ahead and created the room already, but we've done this a bunch of times. It's super simple.
yep,
You create an account, you host a room, you send the link to your friends. They don't even need accounts. They can join. And I've chosen a dealer's choice room, so we can just sort of select the template.
awesome.
You can see what that looks like. And you can see my video working down here in the
Yeah, I
bottom.
can see you down there in the corner. Hey, buddy.
Again, I'm going to go ahead and turn that off just for the sake of our, and you don't have to get any extra feedback, are you?
No, audio sounds really good.
Cool. So we've got all these different templates here, and in the past, we've done custom games where the
Yeah,
dealer has sort of driven everything. Short deck hold'em on Unshuffled's a little different because it's with a shorter deck. So we actually built an auto template just for it. So the
awesome.
game is driven by the platform. So once you select this and then you load it, the game will start. And we're having this one little issue right now where the cards don't appear and you have to refresh the page. So I'm just going to do that really quick.
Yeah, no problem there.
There.
And
Just a
so,
second.
Jake, for the sake of this demo, you've kind of logged in yourself on two computers just to show how it would go. And you can see one of Jake's players is in the bottom left here, and the other one's in the top middle. And we're just going to kind of see how the action goes. So these are our whole cards at the bottom, right, Jake?
Correct. And these are terrible hole cards
They're
in deck hold'em. We have like
yeah.
two of the worst cards possible. The other player has pocket tens, so a lot better than what we have.
All right.
But we'll go ahead. This player is gonna just call, and we're just gonna check, and then we'll get the flop
And look at
and the
that, Unshuffled's just doing it automatically. I remember from our other demos, like you were saying earlier, when we're teaching the system how to play the game, we kind of direct the action. But right now,
right.
Unshuffled's going to take care of it. Cool.
That's exactly right.
All right.
So, and like cards aren't great. This isn't a great example. But as you can see, like we've already made our pair. The other player has a pocket pair. We can just go ahead and check through this hand, and maybe in the next hand we'll get a little bit of a better example.
Yep.
But I mean, the mechanics are exactly the same. Burn cards, flop, burn card, turn, burn card, river. And usually it's played as a no limit game, at least the way I played it. I
Yep.
think you can play other ways, but I think the general consensus is with these better hands, people are going to want to be able to shove more chips into the pot.
That makes sense.
So that's at least what I've seen. So let's just go ahead and we'll just check through this hand.
Yeah.
You know, let's add one more player to this so we can get a little more variety in the cards.
Cool.
Like I said, it's really easy to add new people to the games. I can just open up my my phone and go to our app, which we have. In the top of the URL, you'll see this little room code. It's ENX945.
Yep.
In that field on the homepage where it says room code or URL, I can type in that room code. And I can join this room.
And nice.
There we
go.
I just want to make sure I'm not in as the same player. Hopefully not. We'll see.
Yep. So yeah, we'll see. The stakes are low.
We'll check through this. You see how I made two pair on the last card?
Yeah.
So again, that's not uncommon in this game because there's just so few cards. There's so much less of the dead weight in cards that we used to have.
And is this with a holding like this? Is this something where we might make a value bet depending on the action, or is it still just not a strong enough hand given the dynamic of this game, and we should try and just kind of check and get it to showdown? I mean, it really depends on the action, of course.
I mean, there's a pretty good chance that someone has a straight if you're playing 6, 7, 8, or 9 players, because you've got eights which can act as low or high.
Oh, right.
So you've got 5, 6, 7, 8 on the board.
I had already forgotten that we already had 4 to a straight on the board. Oh my God. Okay.
So probably would not.
Yeah, I don't think we're not value betting bottom 2 pair then. Okay.
No, that's right. So again, I'm gonna go ahead with another player. I'm gonna go ahead and I don't know if you saw that too. The winner was just selected automatically.
Yes.
We didn't have to do it. I'm rejoining with this new player, and I'm gonna load 6+ Hold'em. Again, we're gonna have to refresh the page because that's been happening.
Yep.
Should be fixed by tomorrow.
And then the blinds, it's the same blind structure as No Limit Hold'em. You know, you could add antes if you wanted to. It's just all the same stuff as that.
Yep, that's right. And then we did add this cool new mobile design to our for the mobile experience, where it's got a green felted table itself. It's a round table, which is pretty cool. It's brand new, so
nice.
People are just playing on their phone. They can.
Cool.
All right, so we're gonna go ahead and play. I mean, again, like, let's reset the hand. Let's see if we can get some better cards.
Yeah, this, from what you told me, this doesn't seem like a very good hand. Jack 7 offsuit.
We've never been off to the best start yet. I will be honest.
Just like real poker. This is just like real life.
It's just like real poker.
Well, all right.
Let's just go ahead.
That's a little better.
Slightly better than we've had.
Yeah.
We're gonna go ahead and call with everyone just so that we can sort of get into the game a little bit.
Sure.
And we'll check. And we will see the flop. All right. You can see Ace, Jack, King in a regular table. Like, this is pretty unexpected, and you know, it's great cards if you have good cards, terrible cards if you have bad cards. But what would be interesting is if I had an ace, because it wouldn't be surprising to me at all if there was another player out there that also had an ace, and I always would want to count on it. Um, and in fact, the other two players both have aces. So
Interesting.
that kind of thing where like having a high pair isn't as valuable, but what is becomes even more value is our kicker cards,
Right.
especially in a pair. Um, so just like little nuances to like think about as you're playing this game is a high pair going to be enough for me? There is a flush draw on the table, but remember flushes are really hard to make.
Right.
So like probably not too worried about that. There's a straight draw again, which we are actually a part of because all we need is a queen.
Yep.
And that's kind of the name of the game. Like straight draws are the name of the game. Straights happen all the time in this game. So
And I can see, as you were saying earlier, it's more likely that other players are going to have an ace just because there's fewer cards in the deck. So there's just fewer non-ace cards out there. So it's actually going to be more likely that players are going to have basically any of the good cards, because it's just they're proportionally a bigger part of the deck otherwise than would otherwise be the
okay.
case. Cool.
Okay. That doesn't really help anyone, but
Nope.
someone could have a kicker seven and have made two pair.
Yep.
Like I said, like our cards have been pretty bad for every hand. I would never stay in with an A10 offsuit in
Right.
what I call them. Um, we are on the precipice of making a 7 to ace straight, which I've never done before. If a 9 comes up, because we'll have 7, 8, 9, 10, Jack, Queen. Oh no, we need Queen. Just kidding. Never
Oh
mind.
yeah. All right.
Pretty cool. I got confused because one of the other players is a queen, and I keep forgetting that not
Oh.
all.
Yeah. All right.
So
Yeah,
let's
we're
go ahead.
just. Yeah.
Going
Go
through the
ahead.
mechanics again, you can bet using the bet button. We can do half the pot. We can do a full pot bet. We could go all in. One thing that's pretty cool is, and I'll do it on the next turn just so that maybe we have better cards and we actually can win.
Mhm.
I will bet, and then we'll have both players call because why not? And then the last card will come. There's a 9. Doesn't help us at all.
I guess we've got the low straight, right? 7, 8, 9, 10, Jack.
Yes, that's right. Actually, we do have the low straight 7, 8, 9, 10 Jack, and that actually does help quite a bit. We will see. I actually like. I can't. One of the nice things about having the game sort of doing everything for you is, in the past, I would have to like go through all the cards and just determine who was going to win.
Right.
Unshuffled is going to do it for us.
Nice.
So this player is going to check. We're going to go ahead and bet because I think we have decent cards now. Let's go ahead and bet 100. This player will call and this player will call, and we will find out that we won with a straight.
Nice.
You can see it down there on the bottom.
Yeah, I could see it on the board there.
And then the
Cool.
last thing I'll go over just as an unshuffled sort of feature is with the auto games, you can have all-in showdowns where if everyone goes all in, or if only players remaining don't have any chips to bet, the cards will just deal, and then the winner will be revealed.
Right on.
So hopefully we get it straight or something cool because again our cards aren't that good.
Yeah, we're getting another classic deal here.
But let's just say we call with this player, we raise all in, and then the other players call.
Yep.
The game will just deal out, and we'll have a winner.
Oh, there's a chance. Hmm.
We won.
Oh, we did. Yeah, we
did
did.
We won with a. And
We
then we had this
faded.
whole, so you can see we won with 2 pairs.
Yeah. There you go. 7s and 10s.
That's right.
Love
With
and
an ace
life.
Not
Yep.
so bad.
Not so bad at all. So
Mhm.
that does make me feel much more comfortable because that's my whole strategy in Hold'em is just get it in with any 2 and hope for the best. So I'm glad that still does win here in 6+ Hold'em every once in a
That's
while.
right. That's right. That's it. That's the game.
Cool. All
Mhm.
right. Well, and let me see. So one of the things I like about this is that if you've got an Unshuffled account, you can send the link to anybody else and they can join. They don't have to go through and make an account, right? They can just click the link and jump right in and start playing.
Yeah. So one of the things that we found out early on was that playing unshuffled and having to get everyone like scheduling a game on its own is just a ton of work.
It is.
And people are really busy, and especially the night of, if you've got this big game scheduled with 8 people or 10 people, and then everyone has to create an account and go through all that hassle, it becomes a nightmare. So we built the ability where only one person actually needs an account. They can just send out the link, and then everyone can just join as a guest.
That's very
And then if
cool.
other players really enjoy using it and they want to play with their other friends, they can create accounts and send the links to their friends and so on and so forth.
Nice, and it's free to join, and you get to compete with your friends for free, and you also get to compete in these cash prize tournaments for free as well.
Yeah, for now, everything's free to join. We're working on some really, really exciting stuff that I am super excited about. I can't talk about it yet,
No,
but
we'll break it. We'll break it
uh,
on another edition soon, I'm sure.
that's right. That's right. And but it will be a new way to play poker online that we're all really excited about with cool
Cool.
practice.
And so if people want to go connect, they can go to www.unshuffled.io. If they
That's
want to
right.
connect with you and ask questions or get more information, what's the best way to do that, Jake? Is it Twitter or email, or is there a contact form on
So
the site? What's the best way?
all the above. We're on Twitter, Unshuffled. We're on the website under the menu. There's a like a tickets button, and you just submit a ticket. It actually goes just straight to my personal email.
Nice.
Um, and then we're on Facebook. We're on Instagram. We're on TikTok. We got to do it all. So I would I would say the best way is through the website form and then just signing up because then you'll be a part of our email list.
Right.
And then the next best way would be through Twitter.
Okay. Right
Yeah.
on. Well, I hope folks enjoyed this. The 6+ Hold'em, the short deck game, is going to be the theme of the month at RecPoker for all of October. There'll be a game of the month on the second Wednesday. We're going to be having practice games on Saturdays. And you'll be able to join Jake and I and maybe John Somsky and a couple other folks next month when we talk about limit 2 to 7 triple draw, which will be the next month's mixed game coming up. So that just sounds like a whole lot of craziness to me already. As I'm saying, a no limit hold'em player, limit 2 to 7 triple draw. I can't wait to get into that and see if there's another mixed game out there that I can fall in love with. This whole year has been fun. I'm like falling in love with mixed games month after month. I love it.
2 to 7 triple draw. That is a unique game. I haven't played much of it as well, so I'm going to need to study up a little bit.
There you go. Well, you've got a month, my friend. I know with all your free time, right? You don't have anything you're
Right.
working on these days. Well, Jake, personally, just congratulations for everything that we talked about beforehand. And I'm so excited to be working on this with you and to see what unshuffled.io can come up with, because you're doing a great job with it so far. It's super fun. I love that we're able to share this love of mixed games with people. And I just feel like the future's bright. So I can't wait to see what comes next.
Thanks a lot, and thanks for the best wishes, and good luck with everything yourself.
All right. Cheers, my man. We'll talk again
All
soon.
right. See ya.